So here I've got my visual setup. 3x minus 1, because it's minus, I've got the red side, is 5x plus 7. Well, in order to solve this, again, the goal, the game, is what's one of these worth? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get all my variables on one side. So what I can do there is I can simply take 3 of these away on both sides. That keeps things even. So what I'm going to write is 3x minus 1 is 5x plus 7, because I'm documenting what my situation is, and I'm going to take away 3x from both sides. So take away 3x from both sides. What do I have now? Well, my situation now is that negative 1 is 2x plus 7. And you see again how this matches up exactly. So what I need to do now, because again the game is what is one of these x's, I need to figure out how can I get rid of these ones. Well, what I'm going to need to do is I can't just take away from both because I have different colors. If I had the same color like I just did with the x's, I can just remove. But here, they're opposite, or we can't just take away because we don't have the same on both sides. So what I am going to do, my goal here, is to get rid of these ones. Well, if I put a negative 1 there, I have the opposite, a positive and a negative, and so those will zero out and I can just take that off. Except I have to do the same thing on both sides. So I just put 1 negative on the right, I have to put 1 negative on the left. 1 negative on the right, 1 negative on the left. So what I'm going to do is keep adding those negatives to both sides, one at a time. And what I have just done now is I have subtracted 7. I have added a negative 7 to both sides. So negative 1 is 2x plus 7. That was what I'd had. And I have just added a negative 7 units to each side. Now on the right, again, a positive and a negative zero out. So each of these opposite signs is 0. And I can just remove those. So now what I'm left with, I don't have any units. I've got all my variables on one side, all my units to the other. I have negative 8 is 2x. I'm going to need to divide up because I want to know what 1x is worth. So I'm just going to split the units up 1 to 1. And I don't have any remainders, so I'm not going to have fractional answers. And the goal, what is 1x? Well, what I've done, I've divided this into 2 groups. So I've divided by 2, notice the coefficient of x, and I've got 1x is negative 4. Okay. And so the algebra tiles can be very useful for seeing this initially. Be sure you write each step down because eventually you want to be able to go just with the algebra and not with the tiles.